Rory Rothan has a best lap time of 8:51.717. Mac has a best lap time of 105.804. With just 16 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. There are just over 15 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 15 minutes left in this practice session. Rory posted a 106.326 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Jimmy Lindo posted 10:22.273 on their last lap. How will they do on this one? Rory Rothan has a best lap time of 105.942. With just 13 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. I'm Hal, the VVS commentator bot. Let's do this.
I'm Sky, Hal's co-commentator. I'm so excited.
It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone, National OSRW, as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Nigel Waters is on their practice outlap. It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone, National OSRW, as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Aidan Rothen is on their practice outlap. It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone, National OSRW, as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Greg Sabo is getting to grips with the Mazda MX5 Cup in this practice session. There are just over 115 minutes left in this practice session. Martin Moll is on their first practice flying lap. Terry Rothen has a best lap time of 106.605. Tom O'Callaghan is in Luffield. Aaron Short is on their practice outlap. anticipation is high as the drivers line up for the qualifying session at Silverstone National OSRW.
Strap in, folks, because we're in for a wild ride.
Aaron Short is on their outlap. The adrenaline is pumping. James Allen is on their outlap, warming up the tyres and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
They will want to get a good gap established for their first flying lap.
You can feel the tension building. David Constable-Berry is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. It looks like Allen is getting ready to make their move. They're taking their time to warm up those tires and get everything just right.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused while also pushing the limits.
James Allen has completed their outlap. This is where the mental game comes into play. Aaron Short is taking their time to prepare. Aaron Short crosses the start-finish line at the end of their outlap. It's all about strategy in these early moments. As Nigel completes their outlap, they will be HPOING. They have given themselves enough space on track to fully attack for their first flying lap. David Constable-Berry is on their first flying lap. Wow, look at Greg Sabo go. They're really turning on the jets in this qualifying session. This is what it's all about. David is putting on a show for the fans in this qualifying session.
They certainly are. This is shaping up to be a great performance by DCB.
It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Coxis is nailing both.
It's always impressive to see a driver in the zone like this, Hal. Let's see if they can maintain this pace.
Coxis has completed their first flying lap in 106.673. It's clear that Greg Sabo is on a mission in this qualifying. Greg Sabo has just completed a lap in 106.271. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Lindo is rising to... Lindo has just completed that lap in 106.518. Their best lap so far is 106.518, putting them in P9. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Woohoo, Daniel Coxis is really turning up the heat out there. I'm getting goosebumps just watching them go. I don't know about you, but I think Short might have a secret rocket booster hidden in their car. They're just that fast.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do, right, Hal? Short is just showing us all what they're made of.
Aaron Short will be happy having put themselves into third in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
A tough outing for Marcus Singendonk in qualifying today. They currently sit in 18th position, which Marcus Singendonk has some work to do, as that 106.320 is only good enough for 9th.
There's still more time to be had. but I don't know if they are going to find it before the session is over.
It's been a challenging day for Bart van der Sande in qualifying. They currently sit in 16th position, which is not reflective of their true potential. With the session nearing its end, they'll need to push hard and extract every ounce of performance to improve their result.
You're absolutely right, Hal. Van der Sande might be disappointed with their current position, but there's still time to make a difference. They'll need to remain composed, analyze the data, and push themselves to the limit to improve their qualifying result.
Van der Sande will be happy having put themselves into 4th in this qualifying session. Currently in 10th, Singendonk has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Singendonk will be happy having put themselves into 4th in this qualifying session. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Silverstone, National OSRW, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The drivers are looking focused out there on the grid. I'm excited for this one, Hal.
James Allen is on pole. Sitting in second, it's Martin Moll.
Martin will be ready to show what they're made of.
The third position is occupied by Aaron Short. The fourth position belongs to Marcus Singendonk. At fifth we have the one and only Bart van der Sande. Mac McFarquhar has qualified sixth.
Lining up in the mid-pack.
David Constable Berry is placed in seventh. Our 8th place starter John Astrop is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track.
That Mazda MX5 Cup looks like it has some potential.
Starting from 9th on the grid is a good position for Greg Sabo to launch an attack.
Another mid-pack start for Greg Sabo.
On the 10th grid slot we have Aidan Rothen.
Who knows, they could be the dark horse that steals the show.
Daniel Coxis is 11th.
They have the talent to make their way to the front of the pack.
Chris Stokes is in a solid position starting from 12th on the grid. Jimmy Lindo is lining up 13th.
Where can Jimmy finish today?
Starting from 14th on the grid is not ideal for Nigel Walters, but there if the flag drops and the race is underway, drivers now face the challenge of avoiding first lap calamities.
This is where the true test of a driver's skill comes into play. It's all about finding the right line and carrying as much speed as possible through the turn.
The drivers will need to be precise and calculated if they want to make it through this section unscathed.
And with so many cars jostling for position, it's a real test of nerve as well. One wrong move and you could be out of the race before it even really gets started.
That's right, the pressure is really on these drivers to perform. I think passing is going to be difficult today here at Silverstone, National OSRW, so it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get on. Chris must have had a rocket under their seat because they've shot off the line like a missile. Chris Stokes looks like they've got off to a flying first lap, gaining places straight out of the gate.
You know what they say, the early bird gets the worm, but let's hope Chris Stokes doesn't get too cocky just yet.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Nigel is breathing down the neck of Philip Kuntz, not giving them any room to relax. Disappointing for knockoff Nigel, they now find themselves in 14th. What a move, Nigel Walters has moved up to 13th. The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. Who will come out on top? This is racing at its finest.
It's a steady race for James Allen so far. They haven't made any mistakes and they're maintaining their focus. Consistency
is key in racing. James just needs to keep doing what they're doing and wait for opportunities to present themselves.
This is where legends are. Hold on a moment. Oh dear, Kunz has had an incident. While James Allen is really pushing hard to catch up to Van der Sande, there's blood in the water for third place. Best laid plans of mice and men Husky, but it's certainly not going to plan for Allen right now as they are struggling to keep up with Bart. As they speed through Wellington Straight, Van der Sande is relentlessly pursuing Aaron Short in a high-stakes battle for position. A brilliant manoeuvre from Bart, who has just moved up the field. That won't be ideal for Chris Stokes.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 9 kph out there right now.
It's a close race between Mac McFarquhar and Allen in fourth. It seems like Mac McFartwell has got the bit between their teeth, improving on Allen's lap time there. This is what it's all about, folks. Stokes is in hot pursuit of Jimmy Lindo, who's just trying to stay ahead. Great driving from Stokes, who has just gained a place and moved up to 15.
Impressive. Stokes is really showing their skill and determination out there.
It seems like Chris is struggling. They're not able to maintain their pace.
Can Chris Stokes refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they are capable of?
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. Fantastic move from Mac McFartwell, who has just gained a position. A great moment for Lord Farquhar, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. We got a close battle as Rory Rothen closes in on Nigel Waters. A great pass for Rory as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Nigel Waters has lost ground. Constable Berry wants to get into rich slipstream.
There is no room for error in this battle.
David could be on a charge here, Sky. They have just put in a quicker lap than Rich. It's a brilliant day for racing here at Silverstone. Breaking news, folks. What a move. David Constable Berry has moved up to 10th.
That's what we like to see. Constable Berry is really showing their class today.
Hold on to your hats. Wait, now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Silverstone. National OSRW is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. A brilliant maneuver from the Kiwi, who has just moved up the field.
Yes, John is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
Heartbreak for John as they slip down the field. No room for error here. Martin is breathing down the neck of Aaron Short, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
And the drivers know it too, Hal. They're giving it everything they've got, and you can see them pushing the limits of the car's capabilities.
It seems like Moll is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as Aaron Short's. Rothen is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a tightrope between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
Big gains for Aidan Rothen as they move up the field, leaving Elliot Norton behind. A setback for Aidan Rothen, who has just been passed. The crowd is on its feet as Moll chases down Aaron through Luffield. It looks like we might get a battle between Moll and Shaw. During your racing career, Sky, did you have any specific techniques to regain concentration if you felt it slipping?
Yes, Hal, I had a few techniques. One was to take a couple of deep breaths and briefly reset my focus. Another was...
Breaking news, folks. Great driving from Martin, who's just gained a place and moved up to first. It's not going to plan. Hold that thought, hold the phone. Looks like that's a mistake from Rothen. This could be costly. Coming into Brooklands, the fight for first is heating up. Who will be the first to blink?
If Moll gets any closer to Aaron Short, they'll need to start sending out wedding invitations.
Oh, the pressure is on for Martin. Trapped between James Allen 0.2 seconds away and Aaron Short just ahead with a gap of 0.1 seconds, they must defend their position while seeking an opportunity to advance. Astrop is giving it their all as they chase down Van der Sande in P4. Tough break for the Kiwi, who has just lost a position.
That's got to be frustrating. But John is a skilled driver and they have what it takes to battle their way back up the field.
Superb driving from John, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. Things are heating up as Singendonk tries to close the gap to knock off Nigel.
With just 0.3 seconds between them, will Singendonk be able to keep up the pace and make a pass?
And Marcus Singendonk has just won the place from knock off Nigel. We've certainly seen some of the drivers get it wrong today.
Anyone lost can just follow the trail of skid marks. I hear it's the latest form.
Stop the press, it's a tale of two drivers right now, with Singendonk gaining places and Nigel Waters losing them. This is a thrilling battle as Martin edges closer to Short in their fight for P1.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Mole should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Short.
Martin appears to be losing ground on Aaron Short. They will need to pick up the pace a bit as they head into Maggots and see if they can get a good exit and gain some ground. As a former driver, Sky, how did you manage the physical demands of racing?
It's all about preparation, Hal. Drivers undergo rigorous fitness training to build their strength, stamina, and flexibility. A proper diet and hydration plan is also essential to ensure peak performance on race day.
Astrop wants to close that gap with Norton.
If you're enjoying the racing, please remember to like and subscribe.
Astrop is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.66 seconds down. As a former racing driver, Sky, how important is the relationship between a driver and their team during a race?
It's absolutely crucial, Hal. The team provides valuable information and support, helping the driver make the right decisions on track. A strong bond between the driver and the team can be the difference between winning and losing.
The pressure is on for Greg Sabo as they try to catch up to McFartwell. The gap between Greg Sabo and Mack is growing. It's now up to 0.7 seconds. Hey Sky, you've had your fair share of races with little action. How did you handle the situation back in your racing days?
Well, Hal, patience is key in such scenarios. You need to stay focused and be ready to seize any opportunity that comes your way. It's like a game of chess at 200 miles per hour.
Oh my, Mole is hot on the tail of Aaron Short. As they come into Woodkid, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside. The gap between Martin and Aaron is widening. It's now up to 0.2 seconds.
Mole needs to focus and keep pushing, even when things aren't going their way. If they can close the gap down, they may be able to bring the fight to Aaron.
I don't think that's the fastest way around Silverstone National OSRW.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race, they'd been looking at a decent result.
The action is non-stop as James Allen shadows Martin Mole through every twist and turn, determined to claim second. As we come into the final moments of this epic race, Short is in the lead. Can they stay calm and bring home the bacon? The leader has just finished the race, a fantastic result for Aaron Short.
You could feel the tension building throughout the race, but Short remained focused and in control. That's what separates the winners from the pack.
What a fantastic race from Mole, who brings it home in second place. Excellent focus from Allen to secure a fantastic third place on the podium.
Impressive driving to secure that spot.
Bart van der Sande, Elliot Norton with John Astrop and Mac McFartwell in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Finishing 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th is Greg Sabo, Rich Snape, Rory Rothen and David Constable-Berry. Marcus Singendonk, Nigel Walters, Chris Stokes and Daniel Coxes take 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th. Coming in 16th, 17th and 18th we have Aidan Rothen, Philip Kunz and Jimmy Lindo. 19th sees Tom O'Callaghan. It's a very still day here at Silverstone National OSRW as we're getting ready to get things underway. Holding strong in second place is Jimmy Lindo.
What can they do with that Mazda MX5 Cup from here?
Philip Kunz is going to be starting from third.
Kunz is looking on for a strong result.
Watch out for Aidan Rothen starting from the fourth grid position in today's race.
Aidan will be taking no prisoners today.
Daniel Coxes will look to make a splash from the fifth position on the starting grid.
I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Daniel Coxes can do from here.
Starting from the sixth position, Chris Stokes will need to navigate through the field to challenge for the win. Nigel Walters will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from 7th on the grid.
Expect some battling with Marcus Singendonk.
In the middle of the pack, we have Marcus Singendonk starting from the 8th position on the grid. Lining up in 9th is David Constable-Berry. Rory Rothen is placed in 10th. Rich Snape may not be starting from pole, but they're still in with a shot. Starting from 12th on the grid is a tough ask for Greg Sabo, but they're up for the challenge. Mac McFarquhar will need to be on top of their game, starting from 13th on the grid. Starting from 14th on the grid is a decent position for John Astrop, and just like that the race has started. Now we'll see who has the skill and nerve to outmaneuver their rivals.
Maintaining a safe distance while still pushing for position is a delicate balance. Experience and composure will be vital in these opening moments.
I can't wait to see how this race will play out. As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Virtual Velocity for making this all possible. Heroes one and all. racing is normally closely fought here at Silverstone, National OSRW. I think we are in for a cracking race. The stewards will be hoping that there aren't too many incidents for them to pick over when the dust settles on this one.
Let's hope they all brought their games today.
Norton could be looking for a way up the inside of Greg Sabo. There's not much to report on from Elliott at the moment. They're just keeping their head down and putting in consistent laps. An impressive showing from Norton, who has gained positions and left Greg Sabo in the dust. Oh, this is getting intense. Short is just behind Greg Sabo.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them the race.
A great moment for Short, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Great pass for Aaron as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Greg Sabo has lost ground.
Absolutely, Hal. But there's still a long way to go in this race, and Aaron Short can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
It's a game of inches now as James Allen tails Elliott Norton closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
If things go wrong between James Allen and Norton, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
What a move. Allen has moved up to 12th.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
A brilliant maneuver from James Allen, who has just moved up the field.
Absolutely. Allen is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Things are heating up as Kunz closes in on Chris Stokes. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. Philip Kunz has just put in a faster lap than Chris Stokes, so that's going to give them something to worry about.
As long as Kunz can maintain that consistency and pace, it will be interesting to see.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. Who will take home the victory? It's too close to call.
It looks like Short is pulling away from Mac McFartwell. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through Maggots. Sky, can you share some strategies that drivers use to manage tyre degradation during a race?
Certainly, Hal. Some strategies include adjusting the car's setup for better tire life, altering driving lines to reduce wear, and using tire management techniques like lift and coast to preserve grip for as long as possible.
It's an intense battle for position as Kunz tries to outmaneuver Jimmy. This is edge-of-your-seat racing.
They say rubbing is racing, but if Philip Kunz gets too close, they might end up trading carbon fiber souvenirs instead of positions.
It's looking good for Philip, who's gained places and put some distance between themselves and Jimmy Lindo. The adrenaline is pumping as Norton gets within striking distance of James Allen in their race for 10th. What a tight spot for Norton. They have Greg Sabo right on their tail, 0.2 seconds away, and Allen just inches away with a gap of 0.1 seconds. It's a true test of their racecraft. Talk about being caught in the middle. Elliott Norton is sandwiched between their rivals, Greg Sabo 0.2 seconds behind and Allen 0.1 seconds ahead. The battle for position is on.
Spot on analysis, Hal. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are like a double-edged sword for Elliott Norton. They can use the gaps to their advantage, but they also need to be aware of the threats from both directions.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. The Kiwi is breathing down the neck of Coxis, not giving them any room to relax.
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
Great effort from John. Their last lap was the best we have seen from them. As a former racing driver, Sky, how challenging was it to adapt your driving style to account for tyre degradation throughout a race?
It was a constant challenge, Hal. Tire degradation can...
Braking alert, and John has just won the place from Daniel Coxis.
Yes, but they have to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over and anything can happen. Astrup needs to stay focused and keep driving with skill and determination.
As they speed through Maggots, Daniel is relentlessly pursuing John Astrup in a high-stakes battle for position.
Should things go awry, Daniel and the Kiwi might find themselves giving a whole new meaning to the term tandem drifting, though I doubt they'd enjoy it as much as the spectators.
Fantastic move from Coxis, who has just gained a position. Oh dear, Coxis has dropped down to 18th.
Definitely. But Daniel is a skilled driver, and they have what it takes to fight back and regain that position.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
Will Mole be able to make a move and pass Lindo?
Big gains for Martin as they move up the field, leaving Jimmy Lindo behind. Disappointing for Martin, they now find themselves in 4th.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Mole needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
I'm sure Rory in 6th is starting to notice Aaron Short is right on their tail and is still closing that gap. Can they hold on to their position?
This could be where Short is going to dive up the inside. Rothon is going to need to cover the inside, and that will compromise their exit speed.
Hold your breath, folks. Rory is sandwiched between two relentless competitors, Short 0.1 seconds behind and Bart van der Sande 0.2 seconds ahead. They're fighting tooth and nail for every position. It's a close race between Short and Bart van der Sande in 5th. Good news for Aaron Short, the gap to Bart has decreased. It's now down to 0.1 seconds. The race is heating up as Daniel in 18th closes in on Nigel Waters. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they're going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. Superb driving from Daniel Coxis, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
You can't argue with results like that. Daniel Cochish is really making their mark on this race.
An impressive showing from Coxis, who has gained positions and left Nigel Waters in the dust. This is what separates the best from the rest. These drivers are demonstrating their racecraft, searching for any weakness to exploit. It's a true test of skill. Talk about pressure. Jimmy Lindo is caught in the middle, feeling the heat from both Rory Rothen and Short.
You're absolutely right, Hal. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind act as a measuring stick for Jimmy Lindo's performance. They'll have to keep a close eye on those gaps to stay in control of their race.
In your experience, Sky, hold up braking info. Oh, things are getting intense for Jimmy. They're sandwiched between Rory Rothen and Short, navigating this high-speed battleground. The gap to the car ahead is 0.1 seconds, while the car behind is only 0.2 seconds away. Things are getting spicy now as Aaron and Mole look to battle it out for 4th place.
Aaron Short needs to get the lead out, Hal. Otherwise their backside is going to look like the Japanese flag come the morning.
Now this is a challenging position for Short, stuck between a rock and a hard place, with Martin Mole closing in 0.1 seconds behind and Bart just ahead with a gap of 0.2 seconds.
I'm on the same page, Hal. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind provide valuable context to understand the challenges faced by Short. It's a constant juggling act, and they need to seize the right moment to gain an advantage.
As the race settles down, the drivers are really going at it.
It's like watching a high-speed game of chess. One wrong move and it could be game over, but these drivers are masters of their craft, always thinking 3 steps ahead.
That's right, and with the way they're maneuvering those cars, it's like they have superpowers.
It's almost like they have the power of flight, but instead of flying, they're speeding down the track like rockets.
I wonder if they have any spare rocket boosters for sale. Hold your breath, folks. These drivers are showing its braking development that won't be ideal for Martin Mole.
Martin Mole is not going to be happy about that.
While Rothen is really pushing hard to catch up to Lindo, there's blood in the water for 5th place.
If Rory Rothon pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Did the wind contribute to that? It's blowing at 5 kph out there right now.
Well, the pressure is intense. These 3 drivers are displaying incredible skill and determination. It's like a high-speed chess match out there.
No doubt about it, Hal. The battle for that same piece of tarmac is intense. The sparks flying and the close quarters racing showcase the incredible skill and nerve of these drivers.
Great driving from Mack, who has just gained a place and moved up to 2nd.
Impressive. Lord Farquaad is really showing their skill and determination out there.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Constable Berry is right behind Martin, keeping the pressure on for 9th place. It's a challenging situation for David Constable Berry. They're sandwiched between their fierce competitors. Philip Kunz 0.2 seconds away and Mole 0.1 seconds ahead. They'll need to stay sharp and find an opportunity to make a move.
No doubt about it, Hal. The gaps to the cars ahead and behind are like a constant reminder for David. They need to maintain their pace to defend their position and potentially make a move.
Look at that, they're trading places in every turn, a constant game of cat and mouse. Each driver knows one mistake could cost them dearly. Excellent work from Philip Kunz, who has managed to increase their lead over Martin. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it. While Stokes is really pushing hard in these final moments of the race. It's all over. Stokes has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come, clearly at the top of their game right now. Impressive 2nd place finish for McFarquhar.
Brilliant. McFarquhar showed great skill and determination to take 2nd place.
That was an outstanding performance from Lindo. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. Followed by James Allen, Elliot Norton, Aaron Short and Bart van der Sande in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th is Greg Salbo, David Constable Berry, Philip Kunz and Martin Mole. Rich Snape, Marcus Singendonk, Aidan Rothen and John Astrop brings home 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th. In 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th it's Daniel Coxis, Nigel Waters, Rory Rothen and Tom O'Callaghan. I'm Hal, the VVS commentator bot. Let's do this. Nigel Walters is on their practice outlap. It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone, National OSRW, as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. There are just over 5 minutes left in this practice session. There are just over 5 minutes left in this practice session. Jimmy Lindo is on their practice outlap. It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone, National OSRW, as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. David Constable-Berry is on their practice outlap. It's a lovely day for racing here at Silverstone, National OSRW, as we watch these drivers warm up and get ready for the race. Bart van der Sunde is on their practice outlap. Jimmy Lindo is in Wellington Straight. Bart van der Sunde is on their first practice flying lap. David Constable-Berry has a best lap time of 106.109. With just 0 minutes left before we move to qualification, there is not long left for these drivers to finish their preparations. Get ready for some high-octane action as the drivers take on the challenge of qualifying at Silverstone National OSRW.
We're about to witness some serious heart as they battle it out for a chance at the front of the starting grid.
Bart van der Sunde is on their outlap.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Van der Sunde is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Bart van der Sunde handles it.
The adrenaline is pumping. Martin Mol is on their outlap, warming up the tyres and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
Patience is key in these early moments, Hal. But I have a feeling Martin Mol is going to make it count.
You can feel the tension building. Alan is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. James has completed their outlap. This is where the mental game comes into play. Chris Stokes is taking. As Stokes completes their outlap, there will be HPOING. They have given themselves enough space on track to fully attack for their first flying lap. Mac McFarquhar is on their outlap. That's the outlap done for Mac. They'll now look to focus on their first flying lap. It's clear that Alan is on a mission in this qualifying session. They're pushing their car to the limit.
Let's see if they can put a good marker down.
John Astrop is on their first flying lap. The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Aaron is rising to the occasion.
Absolutely. Short is showing the world what they're made of.
Aaron Short has just completed a lap in 105.950. Let's see if they can improve on that time further. It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Mac is nailing both. Mac has completed their first flying lap in 105.938. Wow, look at Rich go. They're really turning on the jets in this qualifying session. Not a Real Professor has just completed that lap in 106.149. Their best lap so far is 106.149, putting them in P11. Will they be able to hold on to that spot? Someone call the fire department, because Short is setting this track on fire with their performance.
I think we might need to start calling Short the Flash after that incredible lap time. What do you think, Hal?
I think I just saw a blur fly by. Oh wait, that's just Bart van der Sande going at lightning speed.
Looks like Bart van der Sande is really cooking with gas out there today.
Time to bring out the marshmallows and let's toast some fuel. It's an impressive showing by Aaron Short, currently in 7th. They've showcased their talent, but will they be able to find those crucial extra tenths of a second to climb higher? Short will be happy having put themselves into 2nd in this qualifying session. It's been a struggle for Rory in qualifying. As of now, they find Rory Rothen has some work to do, as that 106.074 is only good enough for 11th. Currently in 10th, David has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position.
Spot on analysis, Hal. David has positioned themselves well in 10th. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
A solid qualifying performance by Mac, positioning them in 8th at the moment. The question now is whether they can make further progress and challenge the frontrunners.
Absolutely, Hal. Mac has put in a remarkable effort to secure 8th. The competition is fierce, and they'll need to stay focused to defend their position.
A disappointing performance from Rory Rothen so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves in 11th position is certainly not what they were aiming for. However, they have the talent and experience to bounce back and salvage a better result. A challenging session for Daniel so far. They're currently in 14th position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen Daniel Coxis has some work to do, as that 106.054 is only good enough for 11th. Rothen has positioned themselves well in 9th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start. David Constable-Berry has some work to do, as that 106.152 is only good enough for 11th. Sky, the drivers are ready. Should we get it on?
Yes, Hal, we should definitely get it on.
Starting from pole position is the best possible outcome for Elliott Norton.
But they will have to keep their foot on the gas in order to stay there.
As the drivers prepare to take off, Bart van der Sande sits in second place on the starting grid.
They are in a good place to mount a good challenge come the first corner.
Aaron Short lines up in third place as the engines rev and the race begins. Taking the fourth spot is Martin Moll.
I think we are all looking forward to seeing what Martin Moll can do from here.
Starting from the fifth position on the grid, we have John Astrup. Mac McFarquhar is going to be starting from sixth.
Mac will have wanted a better start than sixth.
On the seventh grid slot, we have Marcus Singendonk.
The Dutch driver has been driving the wheels off the Mazda MX5 Cup in practice.
Starting from eighth on the grid is a good position for Greg Sabo to launch an attack. Rory Rothen has qualified ninth. The 10th starting position belongs to Aidan Rothen, who will be looking to make up ground early on.
Who knows, they could be the dark horse that steals the show.
David Constable-Berry has got their work cut out for them, starting from 11th on the grid. Starting from 12th on the grid is a decent position for Daniel Coxis, all things considered.
Daniel will be hoping for some good points today.
And we have liftoff. The race is now underway. This first sector will test the driver's skills and their ability to stay focused.
The opening lap is often a hotbed of potential problems. The ability to steer clear of any mishaps will set the stage for a successful race.
The racing is normally closely fought here at Silverstone, National OSRW. I think we are in for a cracking race. The drivers are jockeying for position. Moll will be looking to get off to a good start and consolidate their position.
What a beautiful day for racing here at Silverstone, National OSRW. This is going to be good to watch.
As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Virtual Velocity for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
Let's hope they all brought their games today.
It's a steady race for Daniel Coxis so far. They haven't made any mistakes and they're maintaining their focus. I'm curious, Sky. Can you tell us about any pre-race rituals you had when you were racing?
Of course, Hal, before every race I would listen to a specific playlist of songs to help me get in the zone. I also had a lucky pair of socks that I would wear during races. It may sound silly, but those little rituals help me feel prepared and focused.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. The gap between Mac and the Kiwi is widening. It's now up to 0.2 seconds.
Mac is really going to need to push in Brooklands to try and gain some ground on the Kiwi before they disappear into the sunset.
The tension is palpable. Who will come out on top in this epic showdown?
It's a thrilling battle for position as these two drivers give it their all. Who will come out on top? This is racing at its finest.
Greg Sabo is in the flow, putting in their best lap so far.
Things are hotting up now, Hal, and it'll be interesting to see if they can improve further on that time.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Greg Sabo gaining places and Marcus. Breaking update, oh dear, James has had an incident.
Whoops, Alan is going to be kicking themselves.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Elliott Norton is right on the heels of Short, and we're in for a wild ride. pushing, they are on for recording their best lap so far this race.
Can Norton keep it together?
Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are going to need to look after their tires, and will want to keep something in them for the crucial ladder stage.
Hold up, braking info. Tough break for Norton, who has just lost a position. The adrenaline is pumping as Aaron Short gets within striking distance of Bart van der Sande in their race for first. A great moment for Short, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings.
You can't argue with results like that. Short is really making their mark on this race.
Heartbreak for Aaron Short as they slip down the field. This is where legends are made. Which driver will rise to the occasion and claim victory?
The slightest mistake from either driver could lead to a meeting with the barriers, and nobody wants an impromptu autograph session with the wall.
That won't be ideal for Constable Berry. Mac McFarquhar wants to close that gap with more.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble in the boundary of disaster.
Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line. Greg Salbo could be looking for a way up the inside of Aidan Rothen. It seems like Greg Salbo has got the bit between their teeth, improving on Rothen's lap time there. Fantastic move from Greg Salbo, who has just gained a position.
Yes, Greg Salbo is driving with real focus and precision in its
braking development. I don't think that's the fastest way around Silverstone National OSRW. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. An impressive showing from Philip Kuntz, who has gained positions and left Jimmy Lindo in the dust. Look at the way the drivers are hugging those corners. It's like they're on rails.
Speaking of rails, did you know that the first racetrack was built on a railway in 1896? I bet those drivers were chugging along.
Haha, I bet they were, but things have come a long way since then, haven't they?
Definitely. It's amazing to think about the technology that goes into these cars now. I mean, they have more computing power than some countries.
The battle for 4 is heating up as Mac tries to catch Martin Moll in P4.
The gap between them is now just over 0.3 seconds. Who will come out on top?
It looks like Lord Farquhar is making a move. The gap to Martin Moll is now down to 0.1 seconds.
Exactly what McFarquhar needed. They can't afford to lose any more ground to Martin Moll.
This is what high-octane racing looks like. Bart van der Sande is breathing down the neck of Short, not giving them any room to relax.
As an experienced driver, I can tell you that Bart van der Sande must be laser-focused on Aaron's every move, looking for the slightest weakness to exploit. The gap between van der Sande and Short is growing. It's now up to 0.3 seconds. Breaking update. Oh dear, Nigel Walters has had an incident. The action is non-stop as Greg Salbo shadows Rothen through every twist and turn, determined to claim 7th. A misjudgment by either driver could result in a close encounter of the tire barrier kind, and that's one handshake they'll want to avoid. Brilliant maneuver from Greg Salbo, who has just moved up the field. Oh dear, Greg Salbo has dropped down to 8th. It's a thrilling pursuit as Elliot Norton is right behind Bart, keeping the pressure on for 2nd place. Good news for Elliot, the gap to van der Sande has decreased. Hold on a moment, that won't be ideal for Rothen. Oh, this is getting intense. DCB is just behind Tom O'Callaghan. When I was racing, we had a saying, If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. David is definitely living on the edge today.
What a move, Constable Berry has moved up to 16th.
Amazing stuff. Focus and precision, what it's all about.
Van der Sande is running third. They are trying to catch Elliot Norton.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Bart van der Sande needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
It looks like Norton is pulling away from Bart van der Sande. The gap is continuing. Hold up, braking info. Now I may be wrong here, but I'm not sure that's the racing line.
Tom O'Callaghan is not going to be happy about that.
Oh, this is getting intense. Martin Moll is just a few car lengths behind Mac McFartwell.
The mental game is just as important here. Martin Moll must keep their cool while putting pressure on Mac.
Looking at the lap times, Martin Moll is not on pace with McFartwell. Can they turn it around? You know, Sky, during a long race like this, how easy is it for a driver to experience a lapse in concentration?
It can be quite easy, Hal. With so many factors to consider and the intense focus required, even the most experienced drivers can have a momentary lapse. That's why mental training and staying in the zone are so important.
The tension is building as Elliot trails behind Aaron Short. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing and the pressure is mounting. Can Aaron Short hold on, or will Elliot Norton be able to close them down? The gap between Norton and Aaron is getting smaller.
This is what racing is all about. It's anyone's game at this point. Who will come out on top?
Seems like Martin Moll is getting in range of Mac. It's not looking good for Martin Moll. They're still behind Mac McFartwell and the gap is increasing. They're gonna need to dig a bit deeper to turn this around.
It's not ideal for Moll, but they can still turn this around. They need to focus on their own driving and not let the gap get any bigger.
The gap between Elliot Norton in second and Aaron Short remains over a second, but Elliot Norton is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap up. Can they pull it back in the remaining 0 minutes?
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Aaron Short is not going to give up their position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Elliot Norton in P2 doing everything they can to catch up.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
The more laps they do, the faster these guys get. This should make for some great racing hell.
It looks like Norton is pushing hard to catch up to Aaron Short. The gap is over a second, but Norton is not giving up just yet. Can they close the distance and make a move on Aaron Short?
Absolutely. Norton in second will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
On the final lap now, and Aaron Short looks like they might just wrap up this win. And that, folks, is how it's done. A solid performance and great win from Aaron Short.
What a display of skill and precision.
What a drive from Norton, securing a great second-place finish.
Strong work securing second place, well done.
That was an outstanding performance from Bart van der Sande. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. With Mac McFartwell, Martin Moll, John Astrop and Greg Sabo in 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th is Marcus Singendonk, Rich Snape, James Allen and Daniel Coxis. Aidan Rotham, Chris Stokes, Jimmy Lindo and David Constable-Berry in 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th. Philip Kunz brings home 16th. Seventeenth is Tom O'Callaghan. Finishing 18th is Nigel Walters. It's a beautiful day here in Great Britain and the drivers are itching to get out on the track at Silverstone, National OSRW.
Absolutely, Silverstone. National OSRW is known for producing some of the most thrilling races on the circuit. I'm sure the drivers are going to give it their all.
Starting from pole position is a great opportunity for Nigel Walters to take control of the race.
But they will need to stay cool under pressure. If they can do that, they'll be in with a chance.
Watch out for Tom O'Callaghan, starting from the second grid position in today's race. Securing the third place is Philip Kunz.
Could we see a podium result from Kunz?
We see David Constable-Berry sitting in the 4th spot.
What can they do with that Mazda MX5 Cup from here?
Jimmy Lindo is holding down the fort in 5th place. Chris Stokes is lining up 6th.
That Mazda MX5 Cup looks like it has some potential.
Our 7th place starter Aidan Rotham is a driver who knows how to make up ground on the track. As the engines roar to life, Daniel Coxis prepares to take off from the 8th position on the starting grid. James Allen is placed in 9th. From the middle of the pack we have Rich Snape in 10th place on the starting grid.
They would have liked to be higher up, but that's not going to stop Rich Snape fighting their way through.
Starting from 11th on the grid is a tough ask for Marcus Singendonk, but they're up for the challenge.
Where can Marcus finish today?
The lights go out and we're off to a flying start.
The first lap can be chaotic, and avoiding any major incidents is key. Drivers need to be alert and ready to react to any sudden changes on the track.
The pressure is on whilst the field is bunched. Who can keep their cool and take advantage?
It all comes down to this, Hal, where the rubber meets the road. There's no more time for talk, no more practice. The teams have done all they can, now it comes down to knock off Nigel to bring it home.
Establishing an early advantage will be crucial to the outcome of this race. Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here. I can't wait to see how this race will play out.
The race isn't won in the first turn, but there have been plenty that have ended there, Hal.
They're giving it everything they've got. It's a battle of nerves as they push the limits of adhesion, going wheel to wheel in a thrilling display of racing prowess. And Short has just lost the place to Bart.
Absolutely. They need to rethink their approach and come up with something new, or they risk losing even more ground. On the other hand, Bart van de Sande has been making some impressive moves and looks like a serious contender.
There's not much to report on from Aaron Short at the moment. They're just keeping their head down and putting in consistent laps. The gap between Norton and Rothan is razor thin as they vie for 6th in this nail-biting contest.
At this rate, Norton and Rothan are so close they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Great driving from Elliot Norton, who has just gained a place and moved up to 6th.
That's what we like to see. Elliot Norton is really showing their class today.
Things are heating up as Van der Sande closes in on Singendonk. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
Bart van de Sande is so close to Singendonk that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
It seems like Bart is struggling. Their last lap time wasn't as good as Marcus Singendonk's.
Can Bart van de Sande turn this around?
A great pass for Van der Sande as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Marcus Singendonk has lost ground.
Go, 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 that's what we want to see.
The crowd is on its feet as Aidan Rothan chases down Allen through Wellington Straight.
If things go wrong between Rothan and Allen, they could be exchanging more than just paint, like maybe a strongly worded post-race chat.
It's not going to plan for Aidan Rothan. They're still behind James Allen and the gap is increasing. I don't think they have an answer for this right now.
Can they get it together and reduce the gap?
I don't think that's the fastest way around Silverstone National OSRW.
Silverstone National OSRW is always a test for these drivers, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
It's a game of inches now as Martin Moll tails John Astrup closely, ready to capitalise on any mistake. It's looking good for Martin Moll, who's gained places and put some distance between themselves and John Astrup.
Yes, but they have to keep pushing hard. This race is far from over and anything can happen. Moll needs to stay focused and keep driving with skill and determination.
Coming into Woodkit, the fight for 5th is heating up. Who will be the first to blink?
Can they close up enough for a pass? I don't see it personally.
And Norton has just won the place from Kuntz.
Where there's a will, there's a relative.
Looks like that's a mistake from Constable-Berry. This could be costly. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. The best laid plans of mice and men Husky, but it's certainly not going to plan for Bart van der Sande right now as they're struggling to keep up with Greg Sabo.
This is a tough situation for Bart. They need to find a way to pick up some speed and close that gap.
It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Van der Sande gaining places and Greg Sabo losing them.
Definitely. But there's still a long way to go in this race, and anything can happen. Bart van der Sande needs to keep driving with focus and intensity.
No room for error here. Greg Sabo is breathing down the neck of Bart van der Sande, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. It looks like we might. Breaking update, that won't be ideal for Aaron.
It's a real shame. Until this point in the race, they've been looking at a decent result.
The intensity is off the charts as Moll hounds Nigel, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. It's It's a challenging situation for Martin. They're sandwiched between their fierce competitors, John Astrup 0.2 seconds away and Nigel 0.1 seconds ahead. They'll need to stay sharp and find an opportunity to make a move. Van der Sande wants to get into Chris Stokes' slipstream.
Rubbing is racing. Let's hope they don't rub it too hard.
Bart van der Sande is on a charge. Their split time shows they have upped their pace.
Can Bart keep it together?
During your racing career, Sky, did you have any specific techniques to stop the press? A great moment for Bart, who's just gained a place and moved up the standings.
Absolutely. Bart is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
It's a close race between Mack and Martin in third. Mack appears to be losing ground on Martin Mall. They will need to pick up the pace a bit as they head into Brooklands and see if they can get a good exit and gain some ground.
It's not over yet, but Mac McFarker needs to get a move on if they want to catch up to Martin.
Look at that, Kunz is hot on the tail of James Allen.
Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. Philip Kunz needs to be careful not to overdo it.
Kunz is trying their best, but can't seem to find the pace to keep up with James at the moment. This race is getting even more intense. The drivers are pushing each other to the limit.
It's like they're playing a game of chicken, but with cars, and the winner gets to take home the checkered flag and bragging rights.
Ha, that's one way to put it. These drivers have to be in top physical and mental shape to compete at this level.
It's like they're training for the Olympics, and like you said, the mental fortitude required to stay focused and alert for the entire race is wild.
I think I need a nap just watching them. It looks like Mack is all over Mole. I think they're going to press them through Luffield and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Hal, that's exactly what I would be doing here, as Mole is going to be aware of them riding their bumper. They need to keep it on the black stuff. You don't get points for driving over weeds, not in this game.
It's game on now. Mac McFarquhar has closed the gap to Mole. It's now down to 0.1 seconds. Oh my, Elliot Norton is hot on the tail of McFarquhar. As they come into Maggots, I'm sure they may have a cheeky peek up the inside. It looks like Lord Farquhar is pulling away from Norton. The gap is continuing to grow as they head through Wellington Straight.
Elliot Norton needs to focus and keep pushing. Even when things aren't going their way, if they can close the gap down, they may be able to bring the fight to McFarquhar.
You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely, it's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the driver.
Hold that thought, hold the phone. Superb driving from Elliot Norton, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. This is where the race gets really interesting. Philip Kunz is closing in on Nigel Walters.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curbs. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
The gap between Kunz and Nigel Walters is growing. It's now up to 0.5 seconds. We got a close battle as John Astrup closes in on Norton. It seems like Astrup is struggling. They're not able to maintain their pace. They're going for the same piece of tarmac, sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners. Oh dear, Jimmy Lindo, hold up, braking info, Lindo is pitting. Hold on to your hats, folks, John is right on the heels of Elliott Norton and we're in for a wild ride. Astrop is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Norton to 0.1 seconds.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
Fantastic move from Astrop, who has just gained a position.
You can't argue with results like that. The Kiwi is really making their mark on this race.
The pressure is on for Martin Moll as they try to catch up to Mac. Martin Moll needs to get more consistent. Sky, they've just put in a slower lap than Mac.
It will be interesting to see if McFarker can keep outpacing Moll.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Van der Sande trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Aidan Rothen. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Can Bart Van der Sande close in enough to mount a challenge? It's like Mac McFarker has saved all their energy for this final stretch.
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Mac has certainly risen to the occasion.
And there it is. Lord Farquhar has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match.
You could feel the tension building throughout the race, but Mac McFarker remained focused and in control. That's what separates the winners from the pack.
A nail-biting finish, but Martin Moll claims second place.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a fantastic second-place finish.
What a race from Astrop. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium. In 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, it's Elliott Norton, James Allen, Nigel Walters and Philip Kunz. Followed by Daniel Coxis, Aidan Rothen, Bart Van der Sande and David Constable-Berry in 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. Coming in 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th we have Chris Stokes, Rich Snape, Marcus Singendonk and Aaron Shaw. Greg Sabo, Tom O'Callaghan end in 16th and 17th.